people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today with a book review of a book that will make you think, that will make you re-evaluate your life choices, your morals, your values and everything that you hold dear. If you like reading books that will make you think while being easy and breezy, then you should stay on and watch the whole video so that you can know what to expect from it before going into the book. But before we get on with this video, I just like to say that I make book related videos on this channel and occasionally a few travel related and a few movie related videos as well. So if you'd like to keep up with my content, if you like to see such content, then don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button so that you can stay updated whenever I post a new video. Since we are going to talk about a book that makes you question your own morals and values and your position in society and whether or not you're making use of that position in society, let us just take a minute to talk about where the society is at today. Because in this time and age, we call ourselves modern, but there are so many people who are anything but modern, who think that they are above others, who think that a certain section of people don't deserve to exist. There's so much negativity in the world that I sometimes think that where are we heading? Is it all worth being alive on this planet? I just hope that humans can evolve even more in ways, psychologically, mentally, in ways to see that God did not discriminate and neither should you. You don't have any right to decide whether or not another person should be living on this planet. The law is a whole another matter altogether, and I won't be getting into it because sometimes I get so angry at the law as well. Okay, so what I'm saying is morality in this world needs to be questioned, and the book that I'm talking about today in this video also questions that particular morality, that particular collective morality of society, and it raises some important questions that you will need to sit back and think about and think where you stand on those questions and whether or not we are making the society a better place to live in, whether or not we are being good people. And the book that I'm talking about is Stories of Us by Bobby Sachdeva. He has penned this short story collection which talks about the morals or the lack thereof in society and the immorality that is prevalent. It's not just the lack of morals, it's the presence of immorality that we need to question, that we need to root out. And this book has 41 short stories, each of which tackles a particular problem that plagues modern society, if you can call society modern in these days, given whatever is happening in there right now. The thing about this book is that the language used in here is very easy and breezy. It's easy to read and you can just get through it in a couple of days. That is if you're spacing the stories with ample time. And because of this is a great book that beginners can read. If you are a beginner and you're looking for a book to sink your claws into, then I think this would be a great book to read, because not only is it easy to read, but it also raises questions of morals and gives you life lessons in the how many 250 odd pages that it spans across. And I think it doesn't get better than that. Maybe it does, but this is an amazing place to start. In these stories, the author talks about all kinds of people, be it the poor and the wealthy, the moral and the immoral, the ambitious and the unambitious, the privileged and the underprivileged, the lazy and the driven, the happy and the sad. He's covered almost everything. Like, he touches base with a lot of emotions across these stories, and that is something that I really love about this book, that it makes you sit back and think about where your morals lie and where your life choices went right or wrong. I mean, it's not a wrong thing to be reevaluating your life choices, because that means you're growing as a person. But I must also say that some of these stories tackle issues like rape, mental health, depression, blind superstition, religion, and then blind superstition made of religion, and a lot of other issues like this, similar to this. So if you're planning to read this book, I just suggest you be wary of these issues before you jump into it, and be prepared so that you are not taken aback when you actually read the book. There are quite a few things that I liked about this book, about this short story collection, and let me tell you all about it. The first one is that it raises pertinent questions about topics that are taboo in Indian society, and that is a huge step forward, and I love that this book does that about it. And then it talks about the treatment and the injustices that we mete out to people who are unlike us, even if it's intentional. This book talks a lot about religion, India's obsession with religion, and the superstition that comes with religion. Plus, it's not only about the big moral questions, it's about the small everyday questions that we really need to be asking ourselves. We cannot ignore them, because those everyday questions are the ones that will hit us where it counts, will hit the people that it affects where it counts. So the questions that we need to be asking ourselves are more on the lines of topics that we seem to not want to talk more about. For example, how is it okay for us to push our expectations onto someone else, even if it's family? How is it okay to treat others in a way that we wouldn't like to be treated ourselves, just because we are privileged? What lessons are we teaching our kids? Why is it so difficult for so many people to treat everyone equally, irrespective of height, weight, age, gender, and sexual orientation, and so much more? Why? Like, we don't have answers to these questions. Through these questions, the author makes us reevaluate our choices, our morals, our values, and makes us think about how our actions affect us and the people around us in the short and the long term. The most important thing about this book is that it makes you angry. It makes you angry in the right places, and as a result, it shows you your own moral compass while showing you the moral compass of the characters in these stories. And if that is not relatability doing a good thing, then I don't know what is. These stories talk about our responsibility towards ourselves, our family, our friends, and to society, while pointing out the fact that no matter what choice we make, we need to do the right thing, the humane thing. It's our responsibility to do that. When given the choice between being right and being kind, choose kind, is a quote from Wonder, another book that teaches us a whole lot of morals and rightness. And Stories of Us exemplifies that quote on a wholly different level, on different levels in each stories, I would say. I have quite a few favorites among these stories, a few of which are The Boarding Pass, Ummide, A Life of Desires, and then there's The Third Gender, The Sunday Father, and When God Spoke. And there are a whole lot of stories that I really enjoyed, and I really appreciate the intention behind, and I love the questions that are being asked in these particular stories. See, there are a few things that I did not like about this book and the way it was written. One is that the stories were too short. They could have been, fleshed out more to make a bigger impact, and I felt that the endings were too abrupt, and I would have loved to see a lot more development go on in the stories. I also would have loved to see religious diversity in this book, because there are not many religions that have been talked about in here. It would have been amazing if they were, because so many more questions could have been raised. The writing seemed to me to be a little bit on the rusty side. I'm not saying that it was bad, I'm just saying that it could have been better. It could have used a little bit of an editing and polishing so that it could have made a more engaging set of short stories. And then there is the stereotypical representation of gender roles. I would have loved it if these stereotypes had been smashed, and I would also have loved it if to see a woman not being just a side character, but being the main character in the stories, in more than 2 or 3 of them. If we want to bring out stories which make people think, then we need to take the road not taken so far. We need to do differently. The last point that I did not like, there is a story called Brother, in which a sales girl goes to a house in which only the man is at home at that point in time. He is lustful, he has plans, and he has his eyes on the sales girl, and he gives her a glass. She asks for a glass of water, and he gives her that, and when she drinks the water, she says something on the lines of "thank you bhaiya" or something, and then his lust dissipates. Do you see where the connection can be made? Remember that politician who went, you call your molester bhaiya and they will leave you alone. Isn't this an unintentional, if not direct reference to that particular statement. See, if the questions had been pertinent to this, but the questions that it asks is, do we respect women enough in our society? Is Yogesh the odd one out, or do men generally behave this way? Is there a problem with our social conditioning? That's what this book asks. I mean, they are all pertinent questions. I'm not saying they aren't. We really need to focus on them and take a deep look at society and think of these questions and think of our answers to these questions. But we also need to stop thinking that calling molesters bhaiya is a solution to rape and sexual assault. It is wrong on so many levels. Just one video is not going to suffice for me to talk about it. But okay, so those were the problems that I had with this book. If you're looking for a book that will get you thinking about your own responsibility, your familial responsibility, your societal responsibility, while being an easy breezy read that you can just sit back, relax and enjoy, obviously while thinking, then I think this is the perfect book for you. You can pick this up and you can just breeze through it, and I would recommend it, and especially for beginners, because the writing is simple, the language is not too flowery, and it's easy to keep track of the story when it begins and till the time that it ends. This is also for people who cannot read long chapters in one go. This is such that you can just read a chapter, a story, take a break, ponder over the question and get back and read the next one with a fresh mind, a clean slate of mind. Of course, that does not mean you should forget the morals that the previous story is telling you about, but you get my point. Despite a few problems that I found here and there, I definitely think that this is a book that everyone can and should read. I would definitely recommend this book. I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So what did you think of this video? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Does my review make you want to go and buy the book and read it? Have you already read it? What are your thoughts about this book? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.